What if one piece of gym gear could replace your power rack, your cable machine, and your pull-up station without sucking up all the space in your home gym? Meet the all-in-one trainer from Bells of Steel. I'm Kayvon, founder of Bells of Steel. Let's get into an overview. I'm going to be going over a lot in this overview video, so you can check the timestamps and skip ahead as needed. And if you're already familiar with the Bells of Steel all-in-one trainer and you just want to see what's new on this 1.2 version, you can skip ahead to the end. I'll give you a rundown on everything that's included with your all-in-one trainer. So I've got the weight stack version here, but we also have the plate loaded version. And the only difference being, obviously, this one comes with a weight stack. Now they do both come with all aluminum pulleys for the plate loaded and weight stack. You also get all these attachments. You get the handle attachments, the multi-position handle attachments. You get a pair of them. You get this lat pull down bar. You get the seated row straight bar. You get the lead chain, one lead chain. And this also comes with a foot plate that can be put up and down. And then you get everything to assemble the all-in-one trainer, all the nuts and bolts and cables, but you don't get the actual tools to assemble it. And so if you want more details on the assembly and the tools that you need, we do have an assembly video you can check out. Getting to specs and build quality. So the all-in-one trainer has 60 by 60 or 2.3 by 2.3 inch tubing on it, which means that you can use our Bells of Steel 60 by 60 rack attachments on it as well, which I'll go over in this video. And then it also has chromed uprights in the front, and these also come with a nylon or plastic bushing on the trolley itself. And so the bushing chrome allows for like a smooth adjustment up and down. It's not quite as smooth as, say, our Kraken, which has actual rollers on it, but it does do a great job, and it's a little bit less expensive too. And I'll talk about the safety, a little bit of safety with it. So we do recommend bolting down the plate loaded version, and on the stack version, we still recommend it, but it's not as essential. A little bit more important depending on how much, if you're using it as your primary squat rack and how much you're squatting on it. But the reason is that, especially with the plate loaded one where it doesn't have the stack holding it down, when you're doing, say, like a high angle pull down, or you're doing a really heavy standing chest press, you still are gonna get some tipping on it. Let's talk ratios. So the all-in-one trainer has 2-to-1 ratio on this part and 1-to-1 ratio on this part when you're lat pull down and seated rows. So what that means is when you're doing, let's say, cable flies, the weight on the stack is going to be half of what the actual weight is because of the way the pulleys are routed. But then on the lat pull down and seated row, which are kind of your two super heavy movements, typically what people max out the stack on, that's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. And so when you see 210 pounds on the stack, that's going to be a real 210 pounds. I'll touch again on the aluminum pulleys. It does come default with aluminum ones. They are smoother, quieter, much nicer, and they become more important to be the default on the all-in-one trainer as opposed to the cable tower, which the plate loaded cable tower comes with nylon pulleys. And the reason being that with all the cable routing all over the place on the all-in-one trainer, that smoothness becomes like essential. And so they just come default with the aluminum pulleys. Let's talk stack versus plate loaded. So at the end of the day, the only reason you wouldn't really go with stack is cost or budget. With the all-in-one trainer, you can start with the plate loaded and then buy the stack upgrade later, which is really nice. Can't do that with the cable tower. And both the plate loaded and stack all-in-one trainer come with solid guide rods on them. Talk a little bit about dimensions. I'll pull them up on the screen here so you can see exactly what the footprint is. And one of the advantages of the all-in-one trainer over a power rack or a cable tower squat stand as your main power rack squat station is that it fits nicely into the corner of a room. And on the stack version, you can actually get it even tighter into the corner or butt up against the wall, because on the stack version, you don't have to leave room for the plates. So it takes up even less space. And yeah, those corner spaces in home gyms are often like they're dead space, right? You can't really do too much in the corner. And so that's, if you have like a limited home gym space, or you really want to maximize everything in there, this is a great option for that. Let's do a rundown on some of the attachment capability on the all-in-one trainer. So as I mentioned, this is 60 by 60 tubing, which is the same as our 60 by 60 millimeter rack series, meaning that almost all the attachments that we have for our racks fit onto the all-in-one trainer. The only exception being like, things like a lat pull down attachment for our rack you wouldn't put on here, but things like dip or our seal row pad or our lever arms, those all fit onto the all-in-one trainer and can get really creative. Obviously you have a dip station here. You got this seal row pad here with your bottom pulley to do seal rows on. And then with the lever arm, I've seen some customers getting wacky, even connecting their all-in-one trainer cables up to the side instead of plates to do all kinds of creative things. And then of course for the cable attachments themselves, any cable attachment will work on here. It's pretty standard, carabiner on there, so you can put whatever you like for cable attachments on it. One of the most popular configurations for the all-in-one trainer is actually setting it up to act as your power rack as well as your cable machine. So you can see I have it configured here. I just have a pair of J-cups and a pair of spotter arms. And now the all-in-one trainer is an entire cable machine and power rack in one. And so all you have to do this is you just pick out whatever 60 by 60 or 2.3 by 2.3 inch attachments that we have. So you can go with a sandwich J-cup, roller J-cups, or standard J-cups. And then spotter arms. For spotting yourself, that is the only spot option on these because it is kind of more like a squat stand than a squat rack. And yeah, and then you've got this like awesome configuration as your main keystone in your home gym. And some people ask like, what's the difference between going with an all-in-one trainer versus a dual cable tower squat stand versus like a Kraken? And I did an entire video on it, which I'll link to that you can check out for like a real rundown. But I think what it comes down to for the all-in-one trainer is, for why to pick it is like space conscious. So it's a corner piece. A lot of time corners in home gyms are kind of dead space. You can't really use much. So it's a great corner space. And if you do go with, I think a stock version for sure, but maybe also the plate loaded version, it is cheaper doing an all-in-one trainer than it is to do a dual cable tower squat stand system. One thing to note about the all-in-one trainer, using it as your main bench station, is that for incline bench, because of the tubing at the back, you can't get the bench far enough back to do incline bench very well. It's not a problem on flat bench, but you can see here on incline, it's at a pretty awkward position. So unless I had a spotter helping with the lift off, incline bench is going to be difficult to do on here. There are so many exercises you can do with the all-in-one trainer. We actually made a dedicated video with every exercise that we can come up with. You should check that video out because it is inspirational. And it doesn't even include all the exercises you can do with the different rack attachments. And of course, being able to put J-cups and spotter arms and use it as a squat rack and doing barbell movements, that adds even more exercises to the all-in-one arsenal. If you're already familiar with the all-in-one trainer, I'm gonna go over the upgrades in the 1.2. So it has been a few years since we released the all-in-one trainer. I do always try and get the product right the first time, but over the years and selling thousands of units of these, some problems popped up that we wanted to correct going forward. And mostly it's related to the pulley housing and the cable routing. And so all the pulley housings are now straight instead of on an angle, and that helps prevent damage in shipping. It helps improve quality control because the welds are just happening on a straight instead of on an angle. And then you got the cable routing happening for the lat pull down is actually going on inside the tubing here, as well as some of the cable routing down here goes through the tubing itself. Again, that just helps with damage prevention when shipping and less quality control problems. We also changed the cables to have a removable head on them to make the routing easier and allow the routing to happen inside of the tubing itself. That's also going to be a big plus for when you have to replace your cables. If you're using a cable machine, whether it's one of our home gym ones or a commercial grade one, cables do wear out over time and you will need to replace them. So that removable ball head is going to be really useful for that. Similar story with the pull-up bar. We made it bolt on now instead of welded on because again, shipping these units, when it was welded on, often it would get damaged in transit from the shipping companies smashing those boxes around. So now it's able to be separated and packed in a better way to prevent damage. The all-in-one trainer now includes a foot plate, which can be stored up in this position or put down for using for seated row. It was a big request for customers, so we wanted to just build it in by default. Now we'll get into some of the cosmetic upgrades. So first off, just some nice touches. We got the little Bells of Steel Man logo here instead of the random star that was there before. We also moved the pop pins to the side. Another big feature request has been having laser cut numbers. So that way we've got laser cut numbers every 5. Easier to remember where you put your trolley for doing different exercises. Another upgrade has been the stickers. So a big request has been having the 2-to-1 ratio and the 1-to-1 ratio and pounds and kgs on the stickers. And so being able to see exactly what weight you're using when you're doing movements like flies versus how much you're going to be using when you're doing like a seated pull down. You've got all that information in there. It's a little busy, but I think it was worth it. A few more changes to mention are the actual back foot itself. Instead of being like a U shape like on the old one, we just went straight across just to save that extra space. And we also got rid of the welded in hooks that you could use for like your attachments. And the reason for that again is getting damaged in shipping, not having boxes flush. So instead you can just buy our utility hooks if you do want storage on here. So who's the all-in-one trainer perfect for? I think it's really great for somebody looking to get one piece of equipment and kind of be one and done. And also if you are starting off like on a budget, you can upgrade as you go along. You can start with a plate loaded version, upgrade to stack as you go along. You can start with just the all-in-one trainer, upgrade to getting J-cups and spotter arms to use it as your full power rack as well as other attachments. So it can really grow with you. And then I think space-wise too, like that corner piece is such a key feature on it as compared to power rack or even the squat stand cable towers. Hope you enjoyed that overview video. I think you're gonna love the all-in-one trainer, and a big shout out to the Bells of Steel product team who spent so much time figuring out the cable routing and how to optimize the all-in-one trainer for your guys' experience. And I'd love to hear in the comments below what attachments you'd like us to develop for the all-in-one trainer. And if you want to pick one up yourself, click the link in the description below and let the gains begin. I'm Kayvon, founder of Bells of Steel. I hope you loved that video. And if you want to check out any more of our products or follow us on social media, click the links below in the description and let the gains begin.